Share. I'm trying to find the woman who called the little boy the N-word, the 5-year-old little boy, artistic boy. She needs to be found and locked up. So please tap in.
I want everybody for the duration of this video to pretend, just for the sake of sanity, that we're all on one big train and not that type of train, you freak, and we are headed towards one specific destination. But along the way, we run into a little bit of trouble. We run into some issues that could lead us to fall off the tracks and completely derail. And the reason why we have to go through all of these tried and true issues is because no matter what, we reach the end conclusion very simply and simplistically, but we always have to deal with people who are trying to throw things at the train to make it fall off, because these are people who want their online race war to be something of substantial note. But a little bit of context. In the past, there have been numerous examples where somebody could try to amplify something past a point and make it seem bigger than what it is. There are individuals who have moments in time that create this big fanfare and try to turn it into something bigger and bloviate it, especially when money is involved. A most recent example, you're not getting your $10 for this one, is Carmelo Anthony, where he stabs Austin Metcalf, kills Austin Metcalf, is asking the question of if this is self-defense, and along the way has been getting some substantial money from this. And there are some people who may have good intentions with giving their money towards a Give, Send, Go campaign, where they genuinely feel like due process is necessary and they want to spearhead the campaign fund with their money. And there are other people out there who, for some reason, think that this is their ultimate moment to stick it to the evil white man, because clearly that's the only way that they could stick it to the white man, is by giving their money to something that holds no benefit to their lives. And we can brush that to the side because that was a moment in time that arguably, if you pay attention, people have slowly but surely forgotten about. But recently it's come back up again. Why? Because a mother is going through a little bit of turmoil after an interaction she had with a child and a father of said child, where in that moment you can make the great assumption and assertion she didn't really put her best foot forward. Because imagine in a scenario where you are taking your children to the park and you want them to be outside with some fresh air and get some experience of going down a slide in a jungle gym, and another kid comes over to your diaper bag, your carry-on bag, whatever it is that you have that's your possessions, and steal something out of it. Could be some diapers, could be a bottle, could be a toy, and steal something. Now, what would you do as a parent? Would you look at that child, chastise them, and hopefully find their parent, and you and the parent and the kid could sit down for a quick little chat about how stealing is wrong, and then that child learns a lesson at a young age that stealing is wrong and actions have consequences? That could be a simplistic way to go about this, and that could be the end destination. But that's not how that went down. And here's our first rock as to how the train could get derailed. That woman proceeded to just start hurling slurs at the kid, and the father records it, and she's hurling those same slurs at the father.
Did you call him a child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child a
Your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you.
Alright, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and
If that's what he's gonna act
that's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
That's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
And can't really demonstrate that in full uncensored capacity because I like this YouTube channel, but the slur in question is the one that pertains to my beautiful chocolate skin. Very offensive to do such a thing. And when you have a woman, white, saying this slur, of course, once you broadcast it on social media, it's gonna go fucking viral. People are gonna be very upset. And people, for some reason, are going to start wanting to find this woman in some capacity. Why? Because they demand that type of street justice, because that's the way to stick it to the man.
Spoiler alert, while I censor it, she uses that word in this video multiple times. Rochester, Minnesota is where this happened. There's a man, we'll just say that he is not white, right? He is at the park with his children. He sees this woman start berating a little black boy, calling him the N-word, and he confronts her. God help us. She claims that other child took her son's belongings. That's what kicked this off. The guy who recorded the video is familiar with the other child. When he brings his children there, that child and his siblings are often there and play together. The kid she's going after has autism. He doesn't behave in a neurotypical way. And even if he didn't have autism, nothing he could have done would justify her calling him slurs and pursuing him physically, which is what she says she was doing before this guy intervened. He said after he stopped recording, she sat down, hurled more slurs, told him and his wife that they should leave the country, and then got on the phone and acted like she was calling someone to come down there and handle things. Fortunately, no one came, and eventually she packed up her child and left. But this woman is a danger to children. She doesn't need to be on a playground or around other kids. And she has at least one child of her own, which is also concerning. So Rochester, Minnesota, someone do me a favor. Take a close look at her tattoos. You can see her face clearly. Someone please tell me who she is.
Now, as I've said many times for years, not a big fan of doxing. Not something I'm really going to get behind in any capacity. Even when you have somebody who's on the run and we got to look out for them, then in that capacity, I could say, yeah, let the police broadcast this person's face and we could all do our due diligence to find them. But when it's this trivial racial interaction, nah, because there's always that potential harm of somebody going above and beyond and doing something they shouldn't be doing. And the only reason they was able to find anything is because a dumbass on the internet broadcasted where they lived or broadcasted their phone number. When the judge for Carmelo Anthony's case lowered the bond and I had to see this woman's address all over the place, didn't really find that too enjoyable either. Even when I saw these people parading around a video from 5 years ago claiming that her house had been vandalized, still not a fan of doxing in any capacity and will never cheer it on. However, here's where another rock get throws into this entire thing is when she sets up a give, send, go to relocate from said premises of where she lives. Help me protect my family. Mind you, this give, send, go had an end goal of 100K, but I believe now at time of recording has 1 million, and we're going to talk about that later. My name is Shiloh, and I have been put into a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. I'm sorry, but I feel like you could have just called that kid a thief, and there'll probably be some weird sycophant who thinks, okay, why did you say that about a child? But overall, that would have been what the child would have been in that moment, a thief. Now, hurling a slur at the kid, way different scenario. Another man who we recently found out has a history with law enforcement, keep that in mind, proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself great turmoil, and my social security number has been leaked, my address and my phone number have been given out freely, my family members are being attacked, my eldest child may not be going back to school, even where our exercise has been exposed. I am asking for your help to assist in protecting my family. I fear that we must relocate. I have 2 small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to the extreme by people online. Anything will help. We cannot and will not live in fear. And listen, I can't tell anyone what to do with their money. I can't tell these people running around defending Carmelo Anthony what to do with their money. I'm not going to tell anyone in this scenario what to do with their money. What I will say is there are people with genuine hearts who want to help out somebody, and those people have the goodness in their heart to try to do something, whether it be $1, $50, $100. There's always going to be that weird element of people who think race war. This is be my thing to stick it to all these people who have a different skin color than me.
And you guys raised $250,000 for her? I am beyond disturbed. White people should not be forced to live among monkeys. Black fragility is getting pretty tiring. Sometimes to be accurate, you have to use unpleasant speech. White advocacy. I want to say that I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. I'm angry. even.
And those are the individuals I want to talk to directly, because you notice what I brought up with that Give, Send, Go post about how this person that she had this run-in with has a history with law enforcement. These individuals were broadcasting this screenshot all over as a means to say, hey, it's justified for her to be yelling slurs at a kid because the dad is a sicko. And I was walking with this logic just a little bit, but then I had to get stopped because what about what the dad does correlates to hurling slurs at a kid? The dad could be a sicko all in his own life, and Big Tyrone could deal with that when we see fit. But if that's the dad, you can make fun of the dad. You can criticize the dad. What the kid got to do with this? The kid made a simple mistake of thinking something was his or thinking that he could take something, and he got caught. That don't mean we got to start hurling slurs at a kid. Like I said earlier, I believe for the third time now, you can see that kid doing that, call the kid out, drag the parent into the conversation, and y'all can talk about how stealing is wrong, and we could go from there. But that's not how that went on, and it's created this fucking big blow up where some people are proudly chanting online that the end of doxing is over and the whites are gonna start fighting back.
There's a mom, Shiloh Hendricks, going viral on the internet right now. She told a kid who, by the way, when you actually look at the picture, the kid is like pretty decent sized child. He was rummaging through her bag and stealing her children's, I guess, toys or whatever out of her bag. She tells him to fuck off, essentially, which when you look at the video, the guy filming the video, he's a Somali, Hassan, whatever. He's actually, he's going to court in a little bit for raping an underage girl after offering her a place to stay. So that's your great people. And this is just like, this is whites having enough of it. We're sick of being bullied in our own country. You have this guy, he's not even from here. He's got a fucking accent. He's a pedophile in a playground, in a park, so what are you doing there anyway? He's swarming the streets, and now he's trying to get her life ruined. He's like, oh, this is hate speech. There will be consequences. I'm sorry, this is America. You have free speech in this country. So go and support her. She's got like a Gifts and Go up. But this is great. This is white people finally being fed up with this shit. And the fact that we have brown people trying to take away white people's rights in a white country when we have the Constitution and freedom of speech, and they come from their shit countries where you can be locked up for hate speech. This is just disgusting. This is everything wrong with immigrants. This is everything wrong with brown people in our fucking country. And this is why we need to kick them all out.
As they sit crisscross applesauce inside their house, knowing full well that they're not really going to participate in any full capacity with what other people are doing, because let's be honest, some of them are a little bit too chicken shit to do this, much like the black people are too chicken shit to actually do something about their claims to fame of how they're going to fight back. It's a bunch of people sitting very comfortably, hoping other people do the thing so that they could stand behind them and say, yeah, we're a part of this, because the internet is full of a bunch of pussies. But I do want to draw your attention back to this, because in my head, I was a little bit confused as to how we got a video of a woman who's holding her child and slurs going back and forth, and we never really saw the dude's face, and I'm trying to figure out how we correlated that to this, and it was a little bit difficult at first, so I just waited, and eventually come to find out that the only reason we know about this is because this dude posted it on his social media, which he's now deleted because he's getting a whole bunch of people breathing down his neck over this, and he broadcasted all the information about why and how this was transpiring and all that good shit.
Seeing is believing. I have never seen anybody be racist to a child on the spectrum of autism. Today, this is her. As I walk in the steps, I'm accused of the unspeakable, which I've never done in my life, ever. But rights are saying so. So, I've never did, case dismissed.
And it led me to think, okay, you're somebody at time was a sicko, and you were getting your punishment of being charged and going through the process of getting a guilty verdict. I wonder what the end result of this was. Oh, the charges were dropped, and there's really nothing else that we could do in terms of finding out any further details about this. We have the story, which some people have sectioned out so that they could spin their own narrative of this is just cut and dry, but when you broadcast the full thing, you find out more details. And from his word of mouth, he makes the claim that the teenager was lying about this interaction because they got caught in something that they shouldn't have been caught in, so they had to try to make themselves look like the innocent victim. And so we have this big confusing process where we're not really going to get a full conclusion on this. Why? Because the charges were dropped and they got some statement about it was dropped in a form of justice of some capacity, which confuses the fuck out of me, because how in the fuck am I supposed to look at that and think, all right, they went through process and they found no significant evidence and they dropped the charges? Or maybe it's kangaroo court and they looked at some Somalian dude and felt pity and didn't want to deal with the forms of white supremacy, and so they just dropped the charges, because we can't really rule out that possibility given the circumstances of human history and how fucking inconsistent our justice system is.
Meanwhile, the man who recorded the video got it worse. They found out who he was, started sending him threats. Then someone found an article from 2023 where he and another man were charged with an assault of a 16-year-old. And they started going, oh, this guy's a registered sex offender who doesn't even have kids and was at the playground for what reason? So first of all, he does have kids. He was there with his children. Second of all, that case, if anyone had bothered to look, but why would they do that, was dismissed back in 2023. Court documents state the case was dismissed in the interest of justice. And generally speaking, a dismissal in the interest of justice allows a court to dismiss a procedurally proper, so it's not like police screwed up the investigation or was filed wrong, procedurally proper but unjust or unjustifiable cause of action. In other words, yeah, we don't think these people did this thing. And he maintains that he absolutely did not. But here's the best part. It really doesn't matter. He's kind of irrelevant other than the fact that he's the one who recorded the video. He's not a part of it. It's not like he said, she said. He was just there and documented it. Now, a bunch of the messages I received were calling me out for doxing her, which is interesting because I didn't say her name anywhere. I didn't make a post with her name anywhere. I had it within like an hour and a half of posting 2 days ago. I passed it along so that the people who were involved, the parents of that child, could seek justice because she committed at the very least a misdemeanor and with the use of slurs, possibly an enhancement to a felony. I wasn't going to make a post about it. I wasn't going to dox her and put her information out there. She, however, doxed herself. That's where this picture comes from, which was posted as part of her Give, Send, Go fundraiser to help me protect my family, where she acknowledges that she is the woman in the video. And in her description of why she needs the money, said that she called that kid out for what he was. Like zero remorse for using racial slurs against a child. Incidentally, this is because she's in fear for her life because she's getting death threats and whatnot. This picture here, those children's faces blurred, I did that. Just like I blurred her child's face in the video. Because I wouldn't expose her children in the way that she clearly will while being afraid for her life. But she was asking for $100,000 and it picked up quickly because the little chodes on like Twitter started running with it. Let's all support her. She's a white supremacist like us. And as of today, she did at least fix that photo. But also, she's raised over $300,000. And she's upped the goal to $1 million. And the comments that people are leaving with their donations are about as disgusting as you would imagine they would be. The N-word, used a lot. As Jolly pointed out in this video, one guy gave $1,488 just so it could be a 1488. For those who don't know, that's a big dog whistle with the white supremacists. 14 being the 14 words we must secure for the white race, blah, blah, blah. And the 88, H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. HH as in Schmittler. She's made being a horrible racist who wanted to pursue and potentially assault a child lucrative, which is hard to wrap my head around. Now, if you don't like that, Give, Send, Go does allow you to report campaigns that you don't think should be up for the reasons you don't think they should be up. And you can certainly do that, but historically, they're pretty shitty about taking this kind of stuff down. So if you see all this and upsets you, there is something you can do. Because the Rochester chapter of the NAACP has put up a GoFundMe. There is a link in my bio to that. I did confirm with them that this is legitimate. They are talking to the man who recorded the video as well as the family of that child. So if you want to help them fight back and pursue justice for this child who was targeted in the horrible way that he was, that's one way that you can do it. And listen, as bad as it is that all these white supremacists are supporting this woman, I've seen this before. We've seen this with like Lily Gadd when she did her whole little thing and had her 5 little minutes. In fact, she made videos promoting this woman because, you know, the clout chase is real. But they're going to forget about her in like 5 minutes, and then she's going to be back to being on her own. And she'll have a bunch of money, potentially, if her account and that campaign doesn't get taken down. But also, she has to walk down the streets of where she lives, and everybody know exactly who and what she is.
It's something where we're all going tit for tat about the semantics of what it means to say slurs, when the whole time I'm sitting here trying to figure out why are we saying the slurs to the fucking child. You are not going to get away scot-free in having this derail go on without mentioning that part, because that's how all this started. A kid was taking something that didn't belong to him, and we just started thinking that this was back in 1850 for some reason. That's the confusing part about this. And the thing about the money, where people are donating and having that be something that they're putting their money towards, fair, do what you want with your money. I can't tell you what to do, but to sit here and think that it's now going to be something that turns into, the age of the whites having to sit and be at the foot of all these colored people is coming to an end. You're fooling yourselves to like a hilarious degree, because this is one instance of one thing where a lot of factors are playing in that are trying to distract from the main thing.
I'm sorry, but you're telling me we need to help our own. Well, who are our own? Because quite frankly, this woman is a predator. Any adult that takes pleasure in harming a child or attacking a child is a predator. That woman went after a 5-year-old autistic boy who happens to be black and is calling him the N-word. He's a 5-year-old boy. She's a grown woman. So are you telling me that because of the color of your skin that you're going to defend this predatory woman? If you're wondering why so many young boys today are actually being destroyed in society without any repercussion or with any consequences, it's because of men like you. Men that allow women to go around unhinged, abusing little boys because, well, you look the same. So, tell me, how are you defending your own? Because that boy has more in common with you as a man than that woman does, because she has the same color of skin as you, because that little boy, as a boy, thinks like a boy, acts like a boy, lives life as a boy. A woman does not. So, tell me again, are you defending your own? I don't think so.
I would make the hilarious controversial hot take: yelling slurs at a kid, uncalled for. You could have handled that situation way better. Do I condone you being doxxed? No. I just wanted you to deal with that situation better. Do I condone motherfuckers running around thinking it's a good idea to show up at people's houses, threatening their family members, threatening kids? No. Because for some reason, people are jumping through hoops, because if you don't say the one thing they agree with, all of a sudden, you just condone people dealing with shit. No. I condone people trying to navigate the conversation in a better way instead of just kicking it off on 10, because the way it seems, this woman already had preconceived hatred and she was just looking for a reason. Does that reason justify her getting doxxed? Again, for the 4th fucking time. No, it does not. No matter how much anyone would want it to be, it's not gonna go like that. But what's tricky here is how this story has just been taken over into a form of an online race war, where people feel so emboldened to speak out while they sit in their homes crisscross applesauce, where they feel as though they're doing something that's going to change the next 10 years of everybody's lifetime. And it's not. It's going to be a moment in time we all forget about come next month, because there's going to be something else that is a carrot that's dangled in front of our fucking faces, where we are all fixated and we turn it into something bigger than what it is. Why? Because our emotions, our egos, our need to want to stick it to insert group here, and how we could fight back against all of us being brought down for all this time, whether it be 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 400 years. It's always this sick, fictitious little game people want to play in terms of trying to prove that they're better than the next man. And the only thing that one could really say is Carmelo Anthony's family and this woman's family getting a significant bag off of people who have good hearts and people who just want to prove something. So I guess more power to them. Sorry that they got to deal with being doxxed in one case, and this dude got his own shit he got to deal with. But I said there was really nothing else to talk about in regards to that. And to wrap this video up and to get us to our finite destination of the video, of the topic, of the scenario, I'ma just say this. We have got to start figuring out better ways on how to be unified as a society, because one thing going viral and it turning into everybody got their hatred, they're just spewing out for everybody, it's a little bit too nonsensical. It's something that's been going on for decades. It's something that I wish would stop, but it won't, because there's always going to be an example of a white person doing something dumb that they shouldn't be doing, a black person doing something dumb that they shouldn't be doing, a Mexican man or a Mexican woman doing something dumb that they shouldn't be doing. And it goes from something very simple into this big fucking conglomerate issue that we often distract ourselves with because our lives are too fucking boring and we ain't got nothing going on. And I wish it could be different, but I guess I'll see y'all next month for the next one. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know, how would you handle the situation differently? And let me know your thoughts about the whole thing in the comments section down below. I recognize that Carmelo Anthony and this woman are not the exact same thing. Yes, Carmelo Anthony stabbed somebody. Yes, this woman's hurling slurs. My issue primarily is how people take these stories and turn it into some bigger thing, knowing full well it's not going to be something of substantial note come the month of August of this year. Why? Because Grand Theft Auto got delayed until next year, and that is enough to distract me from any of this shit. Mwah! Goodbye.